First contact in the frost. The bitter wind howled across Europa's icy surface as Commander Lina Novik guided her patrol vessel through another routine sweep of Jupiter's moon. 3 years stationed at Outpost Theta had taught her to expect nothing but endless fields of ice and the occasional methane geyser. But today, something was different. "Commander, I'm detecting an anomalous energy signature," reported Lieutenant Reed, her sensors specialist. "It's unlike anything in our database." Lina leaned forward, studying the readout on her command console. The signature pulsed with an otherworldly rhythm, like a heartbeat growing weaker by the second. Location: 2 kilometers ahead, in the Galileo crater. "Mom." Reed hesitated. "It's fading fast." Without hesitation, Lina adjusted their course. The patrol vessel, affectionately named Frost Whisper by her crew, glided across the icy terrain. As they crested the crater's rim, their spotlights illuminated something that made everyone on the bridge fall silent. Half buried in Europa's ice was a ship of impossible beauty. Its hull seemed to be made of crystalline materials that shifted colors even in the dim light of distant Jupiter. But what caught Lina's attention were the clear signs of weapons damage along its port side. "Life signs?" Lina asked, already reaching for her emergency suit. "1. Very weak," Reed confirmed. "But Commander, protocols state we should wait for." "Someone's dying in there, Lieutenant. Protocol can wait." Lina secured her helmet. "Keep the engines hot and be ready for anything. I'm going out there." The moment Lina's boots touched Europa's surface, her suit's temperature regulators worked overtime against the crushing cold. Each step through the knee-deep frost brought her closer to the alien vessel, its hull now emitting a soft, pulsing glow that seemed to respond to her approach. As she reached the ship's outer hull, Lina noticed something extraordinary. The crystal-like material was slowly rearranging itself, creating an opening just large enough for her to enter. Inside, the air shimmered with particles of light that danced like falling snow. She found the survivor in what appeared to be the ship's control center, a humanoid figure slumped over a console that seemed to be grown rather than built, their skin having the same crystalline quality as the ship itself. As Lina approached, the being lifted their head, revealing eyes that held the depth of galaxies. "You came," the alien whispered in perfect English, their voice carrying both surprise and relief. "The Voidborn. They said humans would never." "Save your strength," Lina replied, already checking her suit's medical scanner. "I'm Commander Lina Novak of the Earth Defense Force. I'm here to help." "I am Naira," the alien managed, their form shimmering like sunlight through ice. "Last of the Estrine Archive keepers. The Voidborn. They hunt us. Hunt our knowledge. They must not find." Naira's voice trailed off as consciousness slipped away. Lena's scanner showed rapidly declining life signs, but also something else. The alien's cellular structure was unlike anything she'd ever seen, appearing to exist partially in another dimension. As Lena called for emergency evacuation, her ship's sensors screamed a warning. 3 massive vessels had just emerged from jump space, their design a nightmare of sharp angles and pulsing red energy. The Voidborn had arrived. In that moment, Lena made a decision that would change the course of human history. Against every protocol, and possibly against better judgment, she activated her suit's emergency teleport beacon, linking it to both herself and the unconscious Estrine. "Reed," she commanded through her comm, "as soon as we're aboard, take us into the ice caves. We're about to have company, and I don't think they're here to make friends." As the teleporter's energy enveloped them, Lena caught a glimpse of the Voidborn ships opening fire, their weapons turning Europa's surface into superheated steam. The hunt had begun, and humanity had just been drawn into a conflict that would test not just their weapons and technology, but the very essence of what made them human. The story continues with Lena racing to save both her crew and the mysterious Naira, while uncovering the truth about why the Voidborn are so desperate to destroy the last of the Estrine Archive keepers. Trust forged in starlight. Deep within Europa's crystalline ice caves, the Frost Whisper's engines hummed at minimal power. Commander Lena Novak stood in the ship's medical bay, watching as her chief medical officer, Dr. Raven Walsh, worked to stabilize their unexpected guest. The Astrian's crystalline skin pulsed with weak but steady light, like stars viewed through clouded glass. Fascinating, Dr. Walsh murmured, studying readings that seemed to defy conventional medical science. Her cellular structure exists partially in quantum space. It's as if the Astrians evolved to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Can you help her? Lena asked, eyes fixed on Naira's otherworldly form. I'm learning as I go, but yes, her body is responding to our modified regeneration protocols. She shoaled. Naira's eyes snapped open, galaxies swirling in their depths. She sat up with startling speed, her crystalline form emanating waves of energy that made the medical equipment flutter. The archive, she gasped, trying to stand. I must protect. Easy, Lena moved forward, catching Naira as she stumbled. You're safe. We're hidden in Europa's ice caves. The Voidborn can't detect us here. Naira's gaze locked onto Lena's, and suddenly the commander felt a sensation like standing in a field of stars. You risked everything to save me. Why? Because it was right, Lena replied simply. And because anyone the Voidborn want dead that badly is someone worth keeping alive. A small smile flickered across Naira's crystalline features. The Voidborn told us humans were primitive, violent, interested only in conquest. They said you would destroy us if you knew of our existence. I see now they lied about many things. Lieutenant Reed's voice crackled over the intercom. Commander, we've got movement on the surface. 3 Voidborn scout ships running search patterns. They won't give up, Naira said, her voice heavy with centuries of pursuit. They cannot allow the archive to survive. The knowledge it contains, it would undo everything they've built their empire upon. What exactly is this archive? Lena asked, helping Naira to a sitting position. Not what, Commander. Who? Naira placed a crystalline hand over her chest. I am the archive, the last of the keepers. We are living repositories of all Astrian knowledge and history. Our bodies, our very beings, are quantum encoded with the collected wisdom of 1 billion years of civilization. Dr. Walsh's eyes widened. That's why your cellular structure is so unique. You're not just storing this information, you're living it. Yes, the Voidborn rose from the ashes of a dead universe, believing themselves to be the first and only worthy form of life. The truth of our existence, the proof that life flourished before them. Naira's form dimmed slightly. They would rather destroy this knowledge than accept that they are not supreme. A distant rumble shook the ice caves. Lena rushed to the nearest console, checking the sensor readings. They're using thermal charges to map the cave systems. We need to move. Commander, Naira stood, steadier now. Your ship's engines, they use primitive fusion drives, yes? The Voidborn can track their emission signature. We didn't exactly have time to shop around for stealth technology, Lena replied, already formulating evacuation plans. Perhaps. Naira moved to the console, her crystalline fingers dancing over the controls. Where she touched, the human technology seemed to respond in new ways, displays shifting to show previously hidden information. Yes, I can help. The archive contains secrets of quantum propulsion that even the Voidborn never discovered. If you trust me, I can modify your engines, make us truly invisible. Lena met Naira's star-filled eyes. Everything she'd been taught about operational security and protecting human technology screamed against allowing an alien to access their engines. But something deeper, more instinctive, told her that trust had to start somewhere. Lieutenant Reed, Lena called over the comm. Escort our guest to engineering. She's going to help us disappear. The next hours were a blur of activity. Naira worked with impossible speed, her crystalline hands reshaping the Frost Whisper's engine core at the quantum level. The human engineers watched in amazement as their familiar technology evolved before their eyes, becoming something that bridged the gap between two civilizations. "There," Naira said finally, stepping back from the transformed engine core. Now it pulsed with a soft, star-like glow. "The drive now exists partially in quantum space, just as I do. To the void-born sensors, we will appear as nothing more than background radiation." Another explosion rocked the caves, closer this time. Lena squared her shoulders. "Time to test your modifications. All hands, battle stations." As the Frost Whisper powered up, its new hybrid engine humming with impossible harmony, Lena felt something she hadn't expected: hope. Here, in the depths of Europa's caves, human determination and Astrine wisdom had created something unique, something that might just give them a chance against the darkness that hunted them. "Commander," Naira said softly, watching as the ship's systems came online, "there is something else you should know. The knowledge I carry, it's not just scientific. The archive contains the location of hidden Astrine outposts, weapons that were sealed away eons ago. If we survive this, if I can trust your people with this knowledge." "First things first," Lena replied, taking her place at the command console. "Let's focus on staying alive. Then we can worry about changing the galaxy." The Frost Whisper rose silently through the ice caves, its quantum-enhanced systems rendering it invisible to the void-born scouts above. But as they prepared to make their escape, Lena couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The real test of trust between their civilizations, and the true extent of the Voidborn's determination to keep their secrets, was yet to come. Shadows of war. The quantum-modified Frost Whisper emerged from Jupiter's shadow, Earth's distant sun casting long shadows across its crystalline-enhanced hull. Commander Lena Novak stood at the bridge, watching as Lieutenant Reed coordinated with Earth Defense Command. The news wasn't good. Multiple Voidborn warships detected approaching the solar system. Reed reported, his voice tight. "They're not even trying to hide their approach. Long-range scans suggest at least 30 capital ships." "They're angry," Naira observed from her position at the modified sensor station. Her crystalline form rippled with concerned energy. "They've never committed such a large fleet to hunting me before." "Because now, they're not just hunting you," Dr. Walsh said, entering the bridge with a datapad displaying complex quantum readings. "They're sending a message to humanity. Help their enemy become their enemy." Lena's jaw tightened. They're about to learn that humans don't respond well to threats. "Reed, get me a direct line to Admiral Santos at Defense Command." The Admiral's weathered face appeared on the main screen, her expression grave. "Commander Novak, I hope you understand the situation you've pulled us into. The Voidborn have issued an ultimatum. Surrender the Astrine, or they'll consider it an act of war." "Admiral." Lena stepped forward. "The Voidborn aren't here just for Naira. The knowledge she carries could change everything. Their entire empire is built on a lie, and they'll do anything to keep that lie hidden." "Explain." Naira moved into view, her presence causing static to dance across the screen. "Admiral, I am the last archive keeper of the Astrine civilization. We were not the first to achieve spaceflight, but we were among the most ancient. The Voidborn claim to be the first and only worthy form of life in the universe. Our very existence proves them false. And this knowledge is worth starting a war over?" the Admiral asked. "It's not just historical records," Lena interjected. "Naira has already helped us modify our technology in ways we thought impossible. The quantum drive modifications alone have advanced our understanding of physics by decades." The bridge shook suddenly, alarms blaring. A Voidborn scout ship had dropped out of jump space nearly on top of them, its weapons charging. "No more time to discuss," Lena snapped. "Admiral, we need to prepare for war. The Voidborn won't stop with just us." The scout ship fired, but the Frost Whisper's enhanced shields, now operating partially in quantum space thanks to Naira's modifications, absorbed the blast with ease. Lena allowed herself a small smile. The first test of their combined technology had worked. "Return fire," she ordered. "Show them what happens when Astrine wisdom meets human ingenuity." The Frost Whisper's conventional weapons had been modified with Naira's quantum principles. The shot that lanced out wasn't just plasma. It existed in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. The Voidborn Scout's shields, designed to stop normal weapons, might as well have been tissue paper. "By the stars," Naira whispered as the scout ship exploded. "I've never seen the Archive's knowledge used quite like this before." Admiral Santos had watched the entire exchange. Her expression had shifted from skeptical to calculating. "Commander Novak, get back to Earth immediately. If what I just saw is any indication, we're going to need every advantage we can get." The next 48 hours were a blur of preparation. As the Frost Whisper raced back to Earth, Naira worked tirelessly with human engineers, sharing carefully selected pieces of Astrine knowledge. Quantum-enhanced shields were fitted to Earth's defense platforms. Communication systems were modified to operate through dimensional space, impossible for the Voidborn to intercept. But it wasn't enough. The Voidborn fleet arrived with overwhelming force, their massive ships darkening the skies above Earth's major cities. Their message was broadcast on all frequencies. "Primitive species of Earth, you harbor an abomination, a relic of a time that never was. Surrender the false archive, or watch your world burn. You have one planetary rotation to comply." In the Frost Whisper's newly established quantum lab, Lena found Naira staring at holographic displays of the Voidborn fleet. The Astrine's crystalline form had dimmed, as if the weight of guilt was affecting her at a quantum level. "This is my fault," Naira said softly. "Your species shouldn't have to pay for protecting me." "No," Lena replied firmly. "This is the result of the Voidborn's arrogance, but you've given us something they never expected us to have." "What's that?" "A chance." Lena gestured to the quantum-modified systems around them. "Look what we've accomplished in just days. Humanity has always been at its best when our backs are against the wall. And now, thanks to you, we have the knowledge to fight back." Dr. Walsh burst into the lab, excitement overriding protocol. "Commander, you need to see this. We've been analyzing the quantum signatures of the Voidborn ships. There's something impossible about their construction." The displays shifted, showing complex quantum readings. Naira's form brightened as she studied them, understanding dawning in her star-filled eyes. "Of course," she breathed. "They're not just lying about being first. They're lying about what they are. These readings, their ships, their entire civilization, it's built on stolen and corrupted Astrian technology." Lena leaned forward, hope sparking in her chest. "And if it's corrupted Astrian tech, then we know its weaknesses," Naira finished. "Commander, I've been careful about sharing the Archive's knowledge, but now I need to show you everything. The Voidborn aren't invincible. They're thieves who never fully understood what they stole." As Earth's defense forces prepared for war, Lena and Naira began formulating a plan that would either save humanity or doom it. The next 24 hours would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the future of two civilizations and the truth about life itself in the cosmos. Ripples of defiance. The war room deep beneath Earth Defense Command headquarters hummed with tension. Holographic displays showed the Voidborn fleet in high orbit, their ships arranged in a formation that seemed to mock Earth's defenses. Commander Lena Novak stood before the assembled military leadership, Naira's crystalline form glowing softly beside her. "What we're proposing is risky," Lena acknowledged, manipulating the tactical display. "But it's our best chance of survival." Admiral Santos leaned forward, her eyes sharp. "You're suggesting we use our newly modified quantum drives to slip a strike team directly aboard their command ship. The same command ship protected by technology we barely understand." "Technology they stole," Naira corrected, her voice carrying harmonics that made the room's electronics flutter. "The Voidborn built their empire on corrupted Astrian science. They understand enough to use it, but not enough to master it. That's their weakness." Dr. Walsh stepped forward. bringing up detailed scans of the voidborn vessels. Their ship's quantum signatures are imperfect, like someone trying to speak a language they've only read in books. There are gaps in their defensive systems, microscopic, but they're there. "And you believe you can exploit these gaps?" General Rivera asked, his weathered face skeptical. "We already have," Lena replied. She nodded to Lieutenant Reed, who activated another display showing footage from their encounter with the voidborn scout. "Our quantum-modified weapons cut through their defenses because they exist in the same dimensional space the voidborn try to control. But we're doing it correctly, thanks to Naira's knowledge." The room erupted in tactical discussions, but a sudden alert silenced everyone. Above Earth, the voidborn fleet was moving. Multiple energy signatures detected, Reed reported, his fingers flying over the controls. "They're charging weapons." "Time's up," Lena snapped. "Admiral, we need a decision now." Admiral Santos stood, her authority filling the room. "Execute your plan, Commander. But understand, if you fail, if they detect our strike team, they'll likely begin their attack immediately." "They're going to attack anyway," Naira said softly. "The only question is whether humanity faces them on its feet or on its knees." Within the hour, the Frost Whisper hovered in low orbit, its quantum-enhanced systems rendering it invisible to voidborn sensors. The ship had been further modified, pushing the hybrid human-Astrian technology to its limits. In the cargo bay, a small strike team made final preparations. Dr. Walsh approached Lena as she checked her quantum-modified combat suit. "The bioratings we're getting from these suits are extraordinary. The quantum field isn't just protecting you, it's enhancing you." "Let's hope it's enough," Lena replied, sealing her helmet. She turned to Naira, who had insisted on joining the mission despite the risks. The Astrian's crystalline form had been modified to match their suit's quantum signature. "Are you sure about this?" Lena asked. "If they capture you, the archive will die with me," Naira finished. "But I'm done running. The Voidborn have spent millennia trying to erase my people's legacy. It's time they faced the truth, and who better to show it to them than the species they dismissed as primitive?" The strike team assembled. Lena, Naira, and 3 of Earth's best special operations soldiers, Major Hassan, Captain Rodriguez, and Lieutenant Chen. Each wore quantum-enhanced armor that rippled with starlight patterns, a perfect blend of human engineering and Astrian wisdom. "Remember," Naira instructed as they made final checks, "once we're aboard their command ship, we'll be walking through dimensional space itself. The corrupted Astrian technology they use creates pockets where reality bends. Stay close to me, and whatever you do, don't let the quantum field around your suits falter." "What happens if it does?" Captain Rodriguez asked. "Best case, you shift into a dimension where human biology can't exist. Worst case, all dimensions at once." Lieutenant Reed's voice came over the comm. "Commander, we've detected a fluctuation in their command ship's quantum field. The gap you predicted, it's appearing." Lena took a deep breath, looking at her team, human and Astrian, about to attempt something that had never been done before. "This is it. When we succeed, we're not just saving Earth. We're proving that the Voidborn's entire philosophy is wrong. Different species, different civilizations, we're stronger together than alone." The cargo bay doors opened to the void of space. Beyond, barely visible to normal eyes, the massive form of the Voidborn command ship loomed like a metal leviathan. But through their quantum-enhanced visors, they could see the truth, a web of stolen power, imperfectly wielded, creating gaps in what should have been impenetrable defenses. "On my mark," Lena commanded, activating the quantum jump system built into their suits. The technology hummed, harmonizing with their own bioelectric fields in a way that felt both alien and strangely natural. "Remember your training. Remember what we're fighting for. And most importantly, remember that humanity doesn't bow to bullies, no matter what dimension they're from." The team linked hands, forming a circle with Nera at its center. Her crystalline form pulsed with ancient power, the archive's knowledge flowing through their connected quantum fields. In this moment, they were more than human, more than Estrine. They were proof that the Voidborn's ideology of supremacy was built on lies. Now, Lena ordered, and the strike team vanished in a flash of quantum energy, leaving the Frost Whisper behind. They had just taken humanity's boldest step into a universe far stranger and more wonderful than anyone had imagined. The true battle for Earth's future, and the truth about life in the cosmos, was about to begin. Light in the void. Reality twisted and bent around the strike team as they materialized inside the Voidborn command ship. The interior was a nightmare of geometric impossibilities. Corridors that curved through dimensions, walls that seemed to breathe with stolen power. Their quantum-enhanced visors showed the truth beneath the chaos, imperfect copies of Estrine technology, forced to work in ways it was never meant to. "This way," Naira whispered, her crystalline form pulsing with recognition. "They've built their control center around an ancient Estrine quantum core. I can feel its pain." They moved through the ship like ghosts, their hybrid technology rendering them nearly invisible to the Voidborn's corrupted sensors. The crew they encountered were as twisted as their ship, cybernetic beings encased in armor that pulsed with stolen power, their movements jerky and unnatural. "They're not just using Estrine technology," Naira explained as they ducked into a quantum pocket to avoid a patrol. "They're trying to become it, but you can't force evolution. You can't steal enlightenment." Lieutenant Chen's voice came through their quantum-linked comms, multiple power signatures ahead. Big ones. The corridor opened into a vast chamber that defied Euclidean geometry. At its center floated a massive crystalline structure, an Estrine quantum core, once beautiful and pure, now corrupted and bound by Voidborn machinery. Around it stood several figures different from the others, taller, more heavily augmented, radiating authority and malice. "The Void Council," Naira breathed. "The ones who began the lie." Before they could plan their next move, alarms screamed through dimensional space. A voice boomed from everywhere and nowhere. "Intruders detected. Quantum anomalies identified. The archive keeper has been found." "So much for stealth," Major Hassan muttered, raising his quantum-modified weapon. The chamber erupted into chaos. Voidborn warriors phased through walls and floors, their weapons firing beams of corrupted energy. But the strike team's hybrid technology proved superior. Their quantum shields deflected attacks while their own weapons found gaps in the enemy's defenses. Lena fought her way toward the quantum core, Naira at her side. "Whatever you're going to do it fast." Naira reached out toward the core, her crystalline form resonating with its frequency. "My ancestors never meant for this power to be used as a weapon. The quantum network was meant to connect, to share, to elevate all life." The nearest Void Counselor laughed, the sound like grinding metal. "Weak sentiment from a dead race. We improved upon your failures. We made this power serve its true purpose." "No," Naira's voice carried harmonics that made reality itself shiver. "You corrupted it. And now, with humanity's help, I'm going to remind it of what it truly is." The archive keeper's form began to glow with impossible brightness. The quantum core responded, its corrupted surface beginning to crack, revealing the pure light within. The Voidborn weapon suddenly flickered and died as their stolen power source began to remember its true nature. "Commander," Captain Rodriguez called out, "our quantum readings are going crazy." Lena understood what needed to be done. "All teams, link up, just like we practiced. Humanity and Estrine, working as one." The strike team formed a circle around Naira and the quantum core, their hybrid technology creating a feedback loop of pure, uncorrupted quantum energy. The archive keeper's knowledge flowed through their linked fields, not as a weapon, but as it was always meant to be, a bridge between civilizations. The Void Council screamed in rage and fear as their stolen power began to turn against them. The ship's twisted corridors started to straighten, the corrupted technology either shutting down or transforming back to its original state. Impossible. The lead counselor raged. We are supreme. We are first. We err. You are afraid. Naira interrupted, her voice both gentle and powerful. Afraid of a universe where you are not alone, not unique, not supreme. But look at these humans. In days, they learned to work with our technology, not through force or theft, but through cooperation and understanding. The quantum core's light grew blinding, and with it came a wave of pure information, the true history of the cosmos, the rise and fall of countless civilizations, the endless dance of life finding new ways to reach for the stars. The void-borne ships in orbit around Earth suddenly lost power as their stolen technology responded to the call of its true nature. In the chaos that followed, as the void-borne command structure collapsed and their fleet fell into disarray, Lena made a discovery that would change everything. The quantum link they created hadn't just affected the ships, it had touched the void-borne themselves, breaking through eons of cybernetic corruption to reach whatever remained of their original forms. They were like us once, Naira said softly, watching as their enemies collapsed, their cybernetic augmentations falling away. Before the lie, before the twisted quest for supremacy. And now they have a chance to be again. The strike team returned to Earth as heroes. But the true victory wasn't in defeating an enemy. It was in proving that cooperation between different species, different civilizations, was not just possible but essential. The Astrian archive was no longer hidden but shared, its wisdom helping to guide humanity's steps into a larger universe. Years later, Commander Lena Novak stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, watching ships from a dozen different species dock and depart. Among them were even a few void-borne vessels, their designs now elegant rather than threatening, their crews seeking to atone for their past by helping to build a future where no civilization need face the cosmos alone. Beside her, Naira's crystalline form shimmered with contentment. Do you ever wonder if we did the right thing? Changing so much so quickly. Lena smiled, watching as a group of human and alien children played together in the station's zero-gravity garden. I think we proved what humanity has always known in its heart, that hope isn't about waiting for the light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes, it's about being brave enough to bring the light with you into the darkness. The archive keeper nodded, her form catching the light of distant stars. And that is why your species will help lead the way forward. Not because you are strongest or first or supreme, but because when the moment came, you chose to reach out rather than strike out. Together, they watched the endless dance of ships coming and going, each one carrying beings who had learned that the greatest power in the universe wasn't in technology or weapons or even knowledge itself, but in the courage to share it, to grow from it, and to face the infinite mystery of space not alone, but together.